Hello, welcome to the Stage Door. My name is Tanya Mazza and I'm the Arts and Culture Coordinator for the town of Collingwood. If you joined us 2 weeks ago for our premiere episode of the Stage Door, welcome back. And if you're joining us for the first time, we're so glad you could make it. The Stage Door is all about bringing the arts community together to share conversations, stories, insights, and laughs with Canadian performing artists and organizations in Collingwood and beyond. There's nothing like the magic and immediacy of live theater in the performing arts, where anything can happen. And well, anything can happen here on the Stage Door on Facebook Live. That's why I'm so glad to introduce to you someone who has a wealth of expertise and knowledge about theater and the performing arts and is ready to lead us behind the Stage Door. And that's Erica Angus, the Executive Director of Theatre Collingwood. Hey, Erica.
Hi, Tanya. So great. Here we are. Week 2. We made it through the first one. We're here to do our second. Yay!
Yay! We did.
And you haven't left me, so I'm so glad about that. I'm so glad. And Tanya, we are so lucky in the arts to have corporate sponsors. Mm-hmm. We could not do what we do without the corporate sponsors. So before we get going tonight, I just want to give a special shout out to two very wonderful sponsors of Theatre Collingwood and many other arts organizations. And that is Royal LePage, Locations North in Collingwood, and also Collingwood Tim Hortons, and our special friend there, Jan Trude. So we thank them very much for their support. Mm-hmm. Now, this week, we moved to stage 3 in our pandemic recovery. What did you think about that?
Well, I've kind of had some mixed feelings about it. I mean, it's kind of nice to see progression, to be moving forward, but at the same time, there's, folks aren't necessarily ready to just dive into phase 3. Organizations, so for example, theaters now could have up to 50 people, but sadly, that's not really feasible, is going to work. So it's kind of sort of mixed feelings about it. What about you?
Yeah, I felt the same way. As soon as it was announced, my sister to open up and do theater, live theater. And when you read a little deeper into it, there's some stipulations that are going to cause difficulties. And so I thought maybe I would just speak a little bit about those. One is that, so we have 50 people indoors, but we have to social distance them. So that's 2 meters on all sides. And in a theater like the Simcoe Street Theater, we couldn't fit 50 people in there really if we social distance them properly. So that's a problem. 50 people doesn't necessarily pay the bills either. Mm-hmm. Which is tough. And then the other thing is if you have a wonderful singer, like either of our 2 guests tonight, you have to put a big plexiglass screen in front of them or some sort of impermeable wall. Mm-hmm. And that kind of takes away from the whole thing.
It does.
So I'm right on with you in the idea that, yes, it's a step in the right direction. We're going in the right direction, folks. We're not there yet, but we're going in the right direction. So just keep plugging along. And that leads me to Theatre Collingwood plugging along.
Oh, good. Yeah, give us some news.
Well, we're moving. So that is on 115 here on Ontario Street in Collingwood. Has been a wonderful home and we've loved being there. But the reality is Theatre Collingwood is 36 years old right now, and I really want to keep it going for another 36 years. So we're going to move over to a different box office space at 150 St. Paul, and we're going to save some money. We're going to save.
Very good.
So the other option was that we just go virtual and everybody works from home all the time. And I'd like to be able to open us up at one point. So we're going to be over at St. Paul. That's right by the Catholic Church in Collingwood for anyone who knows the area. And we're going to have a great space, and we hope that soon we'll be able to welcome people to come in and see that space. So that's first.
And you're still downtown, and there's lots of parking there, so that'll be great.
Yeah. No offense to town parking, but they call it free parking.
That's right. It's all about the parking.
It's all about the parking. So the town is going to miss me buying my parking pass, I'm afraid to say. But anyways, we'll be opening up there as of September 1st. So all good. All good things. We're still going.
Good.
And for at least another 36 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think it is.
So I am here, as you can see. I'm at the Simcoe Street Theater, and although the light on the chairs looks fabulous behind me, it's a little lonely here. But good news is I have someone with me, social distance, of course, and that's Tyler Cleary, who is our technical producer. So I just want to give a shout out to Tyler. Hi, Tyler.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Without you.
Oh, thank you.
You can't see Tyler, but hopefully everybody can hear his beautiful voice.
As you say, Tanya, he's the Wizard of Oz. He's the man behind the curtain. So
he is, yes.
Thank you for all you do, Tyler, and thank you to the town of Collingwood.
You guys are most welcome, and keep on killing it.
Yay!
Thanks, Tyler.
Yay! So great. So we have a wonderful guest this evening starting with us right now. And this is a woman that I've actually known for quite some time. We've been kicking around the local theater scene. Candy Pryce has worked all over the county, I think, and beyond, but definitely in many, many different venues around the county. Welcome, Candy.
Thank you. Great to be here. Nice to see you all.
You just had an amazing fundraiser for Theatre Georgian Bay.
Yes.
First of all, could you tell us a little bit about Theatre Georgian Bay?
Oh, well, Theatre Georgian Bay is an actor collective that was started in 2015, 2016 by three people who were from along Georgian Bay, who wanted to get more professional theater options for people up there, particularly further along than Collingwood. And then it has evolved over the past few years. People have come, people have left. We originally had 12 people. Now we have 6, and it's not all the same people.
These are actors that you're talking about.
Yes, mostly actors, so yeah, it's been evolving and it's been really interesting. But we've done a lot of different things and had a lot of fun.
Yeah, so it's a collective. So you all kind of roll up your sleeves and dive right in, and it is a pay what you can performance.
Yes. When we do the Shakespeare, the Bard on the Bay every summer at the Collingwood Amphitheater, we do that as pay what you can. Yeah.
That is such an amazing experience. I loved it from the first year that it started. First of all, you're right at the waterfront in Collingwood. As an audience member, you're in an amphitheater. You're looking out to the grain terminals. It's an iconic site in Collingwood, and then you perform Shakespeare there.
Yeah, it's just gorgeous. When you go to do a set design, you really don't have to do much. Yeah. You kind of want to just have enough just to suggest the story, but let the backdrop, be the backdrop. It's lovely.
Now, I've been lucky enough to occasionally be asked to do a little walk-on.
Yes.
The walk-ons for the Bard by the Bay are fantastic because you don't have to have any talent. You just stand there, read your script.
Oh, you were wonderful.
Oh my gosh, no, it's terrible. But I have such an appreciation for what you are doing out there. First of all, you're in the elements. You're under, the sun is beating down on you. I think I was on for like 3 minutes and the sweat was running down my face. So, and you're also your backstage is a hill. So as the actors, they're up and down that hill. It's quite a physically demanding space.
Yeah, we have really good muscles in our lower extremities by the end of the summer. Let's put it that way.
Well, I know that the community loves it, and visitors to the community love it.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than being able to just stroll along and all of a sudden, oh, here's a Shakespeare play happening outside. So
it's really a magical experience on both sides. And I particularly love that when someone just walks by, doesn't know what's happening. It's like this magical thing that has just appeared, and then they come in and they watch it and they're like just amazed. That's the most exciting time.
And you have been both a director and a performer.
The first year I ended up stage managing, which was out of my comfort zone. Talk about everybody having to do everything. So that was a real learning experience, and we're all learning about producing and marketing and all that stuff. It's
right. And another thing I love about it is how your actors go into the audience. You never know when somebody is going to pop up beside you, and it's really quite fun.
Yeah, we always end up using the whole space because there's ways to come in it from all sides, and the stage itself is useful, but when you're right at the back of it, you're quite far from the audience. So we always try to bring it down and really sort of get in amongst them.
So what would you say is the biggest, the difficulty with performing in a space like that?
Outdoors. Well, often it can be called eating mosquitoes in the rain is outdoor theater. Yeah, the elements are the biggest thing. It's the fact that we have to constantly be watching the weather. And if it's going to be, particularly if it's going to be dangerous, we had to cancel a show last year, not so much because we were worried about the water as the lightning. There was going to be a lightning storm. So we don't use any tech, so we don't have to worry about electricity, sound and light equipment. But it's constantly having to watch the weather. And as you say, the heat. I've been in outdoor shows where we had to not do the show because it was so hot that people would have passed out.
Right.
But it's also really fantastic to be outside all summer. I'm really missing it. Every time I put on sunscreen, I just it makes me think I'm in the amphitheater. I want to be there.
Yeah. So what is your situation with Theatre Georgian Bay this year and going forward? We're sad because we want to be there. That's where we would be right now, literally. We would have finished our rehearsals and be into performances by now if things had gone according to plan. We decided a few months ago, because it wasn't clear what was going to happen, that we're best to just put it off a year. Ironically, now that we're in stage 3, technically we could be doing the show because we could have 100 people and we could space them. But of course, we wouldn't have been able to rehearse. We wouldn't have been able to have a dozen people in a room, getting close and getting physical and all of that. So we just postponed for a year. We're just going to do the same show that we planned in 2021, and the town of Collingwood, being as supportive as they always have been, has just said, sure, that's fine. Same thing. We'll just do it all next year. I think that's really interesting because a lot of people won't understand that, they will be thinking, gosh, why aren't you doing the show now? And it's all the prep work ahead of time that in that very mysterious time when we had no idea what was going on. Yeah. However, you did do a performance the other day on the 16th.
Yes.
And that was called Romeo and Juliet.
Say it, Romeo and Juliet. We decided to call it because we were going to do Romeo and Juliet. And then we were trying to come up with names for it, and somebody came up. So yeah, we usually do a fundraiser of some kind in the spring, just a cabaret, or last year we did some short plays and a silent auction to raise money to produce that summer Shakespeare. So this year we moved that fundraiser to the day we would have opened Romeo and Juliet had we been able to do it, and put together a Zoom. We just did half an hour. We did a truncated version of the first act and part of the second because we wanted to get the balcony scene in. And we did it as a Zoom call with 12 performers, and it turned out really well. It was so much fun. I couldn't believe the creativity that some of these youngsters who know all the tech were able to come up with, and ways to use the Zoom and use the camera, and people were getting punched, and it was really fun.
It was great. I did get to watch it, and then afterwards you had a silent auction, which was brilliant.
Yes.
I purchased some bracelets that
You did. They're on the way.
They're fabulous.
Yeah.
No, it was really quite clever, and I would encourage our community to, if you weren't able to see that, I think, can they still view it?
No, it was limited. We just had it available from Thursday to Sunday.
Right. But what they can do is they can still make donations to.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And follow us on social media. And we're going to be now, because of the funds we raised, we're going to be able to update our website and get some more interesting content on there. And we're going to keep producing little tidbits to throw on Instagram and stuff to keep us going all summer. So people can follow along and see what we're up to.
That's terrific. That's great. You know what? I meant to mention to you that I did place my Shakespeare Nutcracker behind me. That was for you. That's out of the Christmas stuff.
I really appreciate that.
Specifically for you. You and I have known each other for quite a while, and I can relate to a lot of what you're saying because of my Theatre by the Bay days in Barrie and doing outdoor Shakespeare, working with that scenario. But you also are quite involved with South Simcoe Theatre.
Yes, I've been running the box office for that community theatre group in Cookstown for 20 years now, which blows my mind. I started out doing it as a little side job when my kids went back to school, like my daughter was in grade 1. And I just never left. It's just been really fun. And I also, before I went back to professional work, I acted with them, and now I direct for them sometimes. And so, yeah.
Simcoe is an amazing little theater. I love what they produce. It's a great spot. I love to get out there, so highly recommend it. Yeah. So Simcoe Theatre, Kempenfeld Community Players, Talk is Free Theatre, Theatre Collingwood. We must have more men. Too. You were in that.
Well, actually, no. Years ago, I was in the comedy. I'll think of it in a minute. Lend Me a Tenor. I was in.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Theatre by the Bay. So I may have said that. Yes. So tons and tons of and all around Simcoe County as well.
Yeah.
But I would be remiss if I did not ask you about voiceovers for video games. I think that's what it is, because Tyler has said, oh my gosh, she's done voiceovers for video games. Those tech people, they love that stuff.
Yeah, it was a few years ago, back when you would actually go somewhere in a sound room and audition and then go somewhere else in a sound room and record, as opposed to now where most people are doing it from home. But it was really fun. I had a really, and then it's very strange because you're not recording with the person, you're just recording your own dialogue. And then I found out years later that the person I was in the scene with was somebody I knew. But we didn't find out till years later. That was fun.
Oh, that's amazing. But you've also done other voiceover work.
Yeah, sometimes on commercials. I'm trying to remember now what I've done. Yeah, most of it was a while ago, as I say, when the tech was different, when you were going somewhere in a sound room.
I think oftentimes this is something that always, comes up. Occasionally you'll run into someone who will say, I'm not really into the arts. And I always think, well, yes, you are.
Yeah.
There's no one that isn't into the arts, because all of these wonderful things that you've been doing as voiceovers or there's just, if you love a building, there was an artist that designed that building, and if you love video games.
Or even commercials. Yeah. Sometimes when I get the text for a commercial, they have 15 seconds, so it's so tightly written. And then when you're in the room and all that talent putting these things together, there's art in there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure we probably have shown it. As we said last week, we can't see the photographs, but we have a lovely photograph of you as Lady Bracknell. Beautiful. I don't know if Tyler's shown that yet. I wanted to ask, I like to have a question for our guests. So my question for you is, you might be prepared for it because it's an ongoing question for me. I think this this time that we're in with the world is one that is so difficult and has affected so many people in so many ways. But I think that there are gifts to be had from it. So my question to you is, what is a gift that you feel you have received through this time that we're in?
I would say time is the gift of this time. Time to just, well, I've been doing a lot of sitting back and assessing, time to assess, well, what am I doing? Where am I going? What's my path? Is this where I want to go? That kind of thing. And also time to do a task and not feel like you have to rush through it, to actually do a task until it's complete, because I have time. There's no deadline. There's nobody waiting for me. Well, I've been busy the last couple of weeks on this other project, but there's no, show after show after show, something's got to be done. Somebody needs to be called, something needs to be written, something needs to be rehearsed. So I kind of enjoyed that, actually.
Yeah, that's terrific, isn't it? And time is the greatest gift we can give anyone, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's one thing, Lisa Way, who's going to be a guest for us on our next show, speaks about time all the time. No pun intended, but the gift of time. And I think most of us in this business feel like we never have enough time. So
yeah, whatever you're doing, you feel like you should be working on something.
Yeah.
There's something that you should be doing.
I was in on an interesting call yesterday with the Ministry of Heritage. And here's a good news, if anybody hasn't heard, the wage subsidies are staying till the end of the year.
Oh, that is nice.
Through this. So I hope that's true. I hope I'm not saying something. So the gift of time is really great. And so is the gift of money.
Yes. Yes. That's true. I'm lucky that I can take this time.
Yeah.
I'm in a lucky situation.
It's a tough time for the arts, because we don't have any ticket sales, obviously, and that's tough for everyone. Yeah. So in terms of the collective, next year we're going to see Romeo and Juliet.
Yep.
And is there another show coming up virtually or?
Nothing definite, but we really enjoyed putting together the one we just did. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get creative and put together something else.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Candy, for being with us and spending this time for us. It's always wonderful to catch up and hear behind the scenes on Theatre Georgian Bay. Congratulations on the success.
Thank you. Great to see you both.
Wonderful. Tanya, have you ever, you were an actor. Did you perform outside? Did you ever do outdoor theater?
Well, I'll tell you, I danced in cafeterias at university and in unexpected places. So I did a lot of that, but I have to say I didn't perform outdoors, no.
There was a summer that I was working for Theatre by the Bay, and we were doing a Midsummer Night's Dream, but it was with our intermediate company. So I was kind of playing the role of den mother with these young actors. And it was great. We didn't have to cancel any shows. We ran for a month. The weather was in our favor. And one of the neatest things was there was a little stream that went through the park. And every night at 7 o'clock when that show started, this mother duck would go down the stream with her little babies following behind her, just as the show was starting. We had people saying, like, do you do that? Is that what you do? It was nature. It was nature. It's just
perfect. It's like at the Collingwood Amphitheater. Sometimes perfectly timed the swans swim by behind the music of the theater.
Motorboats.
Yes, that's right.
Maybe the other thing that comes by. Yeah, it's interesting. Did you achieve anything in your gift of time this last 2 weeks?
Boy, oh boy.
So,
Well, I've still been doing a lot of reading, which has been amazing to have that time to just kind of plow through some books that I've kind of had piled up on my bedside, getting higher and higher. So to work my way through that has been great. Just spending a little bit more time outdoors. Yeah, not feeling so rushed that I have to get through things, and I can spend more time on walks and being outside.
yeah, the weather has agreed with us, so that's fantastic. Fantastic.
Yes.
Tanya, we have another fabulous guest.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say something about what I'm wearing tonight.
It's very elegant.
When I got dressed for this evening's performance, I thought, what would Thom Allison wear? And this is what I came up with.
This is what you came up with. I love it. I love the jewels. It's beautiful.
I had to sparkle. I needed to sparkle.
Beautiful.
We have a video clip that we'd like to show before we have our wonderful friend Thom join us.
Shake your groove bang, shake your groove bang, yeah, yeah. Show 'em how we do it now. Shake your groove bang, yeah, yeah. Show 'em how we do it now.
Finally free in the big city. Oh, good morning, sweetheart. Pardon me. Excuse me, pardon me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Thom Allison, our dancing Priscilla.
I'm here in the lobby of Miss Joan Rivers, comic icon. I've enjoyed her ever since I was just a little ball of butter.
Okay, all right. So even if they hate you, it doesn't matter because the audiences love it. You're home free.
I think so.
Yeah. I don't want to jinx
Yeah.
it. But I hope so. Oh my God, my daughter will listen.
Hi,
Nice to meet you.
You understand? The man I'm standing next to is 2,611 calories or 4 points.
That was fun. Joan Rivers kissed me and asked me to come over for dinner. Okay, no, she didn't. But she did try to kiss me. She couldn't get close enough. She was lovely. Lovely, friendly, gorgeous, sweet, so relaxed, inviting. Melissa, darling, they were great.
Okay. Even though we don't get to see the pictures happening or the videos
It
happening,
was going through my head.
we watched it before. We know it. Everybody, I am sure, is in hysterics, and I want to eat a cupcake right now. Thom Allison, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a cupcake.
It was my deep and sweet pleasure.
That clip. Well, first of all, that costume was
Amazing.
unbelievable. But Thom, you met Joan Rivers.
I did, and she was so sweet. Actually, she was so friendly and lovely and warm and so everything you kind of would want her to be, but still being funny. She wasn't sort of acerbic or mean or snippy. She was so welcoming and hilarious and lovely. And she actually came and saw the show about 3 times.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
she loved the show. She actually sought me out on opening night. She's like, "Where's the cupcake? Where's the cupcake?" So I actually got a picture somewhere. Oh, I should have gotten it up for this. I've got a couple of pictures of us together opening night, all scrunched in together. She was great.
Oh my gosh. I was such a Joan Rivers fan, so you have no idea.
She was amazing.
When I saw that, I just absolutely loved it. Thom, well, first of all, before we get on to more serious things,
Oh, okay.
this bio, or your resume, I'm sorry, seriously, is there anything Thom Allison has not done?
But I've done more things than I thought I would do. It's amazing that I didn't think I'd actually do some of the shows that I got to do, but I'm so glad that I did, that people thought, let's get this guy to do it,
Oh my gosh. Just to name a few at Stratford, Miss Saigon, you were in the Young Company at Stratford.
Yeah, in 92.
Let
I
me
was
ask you something.
14, but yes, I wanted to do classical theater. I didn't intend to be a singer. It wasn't my goal, and it was the singing teacher at Ryerson, where I went to theater school, who sort of helped me understand singing through the text.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. It's that rhythm, that lovely rhythm of Shakespeare's beautiful words. I have a question for you. Were you in the young company at Stratford when Larissa Mayer was in the young company at Stratford?
No, I wasn't. I think she was probably after me because she might be decades younger.
I don't know if that's true, but I used to work with Larissa and at Theatre by the Bay, and so when I read that, I thought, oh my gosh,
No, I was actually in the young company with Yana McIntosh.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, we were kids together, and she's so sort of grande dame now, and people are like, oh, I'm so nervous around Yana. I'm like, really? But like, we were like, hey, Yana. She's like, hey,
We
like,
ate lunch together.
Yeah, we were reared together. So yeah, so she's like an old pal, which is
Oh my gosh. So a lot of classical theater at Stratford you did, and then you went on to Miss Saigon and Rent and Tommy, and of course Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. I have to ask you, I heard you say, and I totally grabbed it because I was also a big Mr. Dress Up fan, and Mr. Dress Up's tickle trunk was Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, not like a giant tickle trunk?
Yes.
How did you get through those costumes?
They were amazing. It was so extraordinary. I remember my costume fittings. You could not believe these things. The sketches were amazing. But then they'd bring up in the making, my funeral costume, which was so spectacular. I called it the Executive Mermaid. It was this black gown, two-piece gown that was like fitted to my knees and then went out 4 feet in diameter with piping in it, and this huge black crepe, and then this suit with this huge collar and this humongous spray of flowers that ran around my collar, and then this wig that was white, brushed back, and then up into a crucifix. Like, it was so outrageous. And the fitting,
yes, I saw the picture.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, in the fitting, the designer said, "Can you walk in the dress?" I was like, a little bit. He said, "Yeah, not tight enough." And in fact, myself and another gentleman in the show who sort of had a mirroring costume, but different, but the same kind of shape. The two of us, our whole thing was like bouncing around in our little heels. So it was just like, it was that kind of crazy. And then you're a cupcake, and you're a showgirl, and you're a paintbrush, and every costume was like, what? Sure. Okay. Yeah, it was like the most fun dress up. It was fun.
The thought of how they got you into all those costumes in one show, and you actually made it out onto the stage on time. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Not at first, but eventually, yes.
Is there someone helping you backstage getting into all these costumes, or
team of dressers? Yeah, and we had makeup stations and clever, like all these tricks they had, and because we were in and out of makeup, and girl boy, girl boy, girl boy. My track was really like girl boy, girl boy, girl boy. Some tracks were just sort of, they were in drag for the whole thing. It really varied depending on what your track was. But there was a team of dressers, and our theater was the Palace Theater. It's very sort of narrow but tall. So they actually, if you came on stage, before the show or after the show, you'd see costumes hanging from the ceiling.
Oh, yes.
Oh, cool.
Like, things could not go down. We had what do you call it, like a staircase, a winding staircase that went downstairs to the dressing rooms. They couldn't actually get costumes, some of them, down the staircase. So they would be flown. The cupcakes were flown above us. The paintbrushes were flown above us. The big costumes they wore at the end, where they become the Opera House in Sydney Opera House, were flown. The Marie Antoinette gowns, flown. They couldn't put them anywhere else. So they were flying. They were hanging above us the whole time. And humongous glittering shoes that people ride on. Like, it was so crazy. It was so crazy. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad my intestinal tract has survived, because I was passing more glitter than it was like everywhere. My gym bag. I'm like, what is this? What's happening? It's just,
I love that, because I love that you shared that, because our whole concept of doing this little FaceTime was that we wanted to take people backstage. You might have taken us a little
A
too
little
far
too
back.
backstage,
Yes.
a little too deep, as it were.
Yeah.
We like the grit. We like the grit.
The grit and the glitter. That's what
Yeah.
the grit and the glitter.
That is amazing. You know, I had the pleasure of going backstage for The Lion King in Toronto, and they had to do the same thing where the costumes or almost puppets were flowing so that they had space for them because there were so many.
And it's sort of the safest place where they won't really get injured, hopefully, and there's somewhere for them to be. And yeah, it's amazing. Well, shows when it's so big like that.
Yeah.
All these amazing.
Actually, my buddy that took me backstage, I think, is a buddy of yours, Sterling Jarvis.
Oh my God! Yes, of course. I adore
Love
him.
him.
He's a great guy and so talented too. He's so great and beautiful voice. Oh my God. Yeah,
Super talented, and he has come and done some work for Theatre Collingwood, and this is where I put my sad face on because Thom, Allison, June, we were going to dance together. I just know it.
Yes. Yes.
So we have a wonderful show planned. It will happen.
Oh, it's going to happen. Oh, for sure.
It will happen one day for sure, a night in Vegas. And when you do come to Collingwood to do that show, I'm just looking. Sammy Davis Jr., Tony Bennett, Judy Garland, Frank Sinatra, and more.
We're digging them up. It'll be fantastic.
The music of, and I have to show you my autographed CD.
Oh, God bless you.
Which I keep near and dear to my heart. That is a whole lot of sunlight. It's a wonderful CD, absolutely wonderful. You were in town with Theatre Collingwood in the Andrew Lloyd Webber show with Adrian Marchuk. Those shows are really, really great.
So good. He's done an amazing job with those shows. You know what it is? He's got such a great ear. He has a great ear for finding the information about the composers, their lives and their biographies. But he finds those really juicy things that feel like you're sitting down, like gossiping over a coffee.
Yes,
Where you're
yes.
so engaged, and then he finds this beautiful way of integrating the story right into the song, and you go, "Oh my God, what a great intro for that song!" And it's not obvious. It's pretty extraordinary.
You are exactly right, because you know what happens after those shows is people are leaving the theater and they're saying, I never knew that. I never knew that happened. They've heard some fabulous music. That show is called Any Dream Will Do. And they heard amazing music, but they also got these little tidbits of Andrew Lloyd Webber trivia.
Glorious.
So that was really, really super neat. Thom, yes. So we're gonna do your show when we get past
all of this
craziness that we're in.
Yeah.
So for sure we're gonna do that, and Collingwood has lots of Thom Allison fans. One in particular is Catherine Hike, who you did stay at her house.
Yes. Great home.
She sort of fell in love with you at that time. So
it was kind of mutual, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, she's got a new house now, so it's another.
Oh, does she really?
Visit. Yeah. Well, she's always got to create things, right?
Okay, of course. She's amazing.
Canadian Screen Award for your role as Pryce. So let's talk about Pryce and Killjoys.
Okay.
Another tickle trunk.
I know.
Now, I pulled some photographs and there was like Pryce with the white long hair, Pryce with black hair, Pryce with no hair, Pryce with
beads and jewels.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's funny. We they had a whole different idea before we started of what Pryce might be, and then when I was cast, I went for a costume fitting, consultation/fitting, and it was 5 hours long. And the designer, who I instantly fell in love with, we just had this love affair, and her associate, who was So amazing. We had the most fun for 5 years. And then she said, can you come back tomorrow? I said, yes. And I came back the next day for another 4 hours. So we had a 9-hour split up initial call. And she was literally taking fabric and wrapping it on me and going, cut the sleeves off of this. Make a thing out of that. Make this into a sarong. Let's try it. And it was sort of, she created the look about over what I looked like. But what I love that she said to me was, she said, in my mind, because he's in his bar is all grungy and stone and ugly and dark. And
he is a bartender, basically.
Yeah, he's a bartender, and bartender, bar owner / madam, like the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Bouncer in his own place. She said, I think of Pri as being, can I swear, slightly swear in this?
Yes.
She says, think of him as being a bird of paradise in a pile of shit. I was like, got it. I'm on it. And that's what it was. I was like, everyone's in a gray and black and, and these dark colored brown. And I'm in like fuchsia and teal and like lavender, like with leather and cuffs and jewelry and spiky things. So it's like this deadly flower. It was so fascinating.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. The costumes are absolutely amazing. And I have to ask, did you get to keep any?
She gave me several pieces. Like there's an outfit, but it could be split up too, and some jewelry, some bits, and yeah, I got like a pair of boots, and I got 2 pairs of pants.
That's
and,
great.
One of the shirts, and then one of the great, beautiful jackets that she had designed and had made for me. Like it was just such a wonderful.
A makeup palette.
That I can pull it myself if I need to. Get some Swarovski crystals, and yeah, it was wild.
That was amazing. And what a great Canadian production. And you've been, there's so many amazing things happening in Canada now. Oh my gosh, Kim's Convenience.
Yes.
You were on Murdoch Mystery, but the thing is, Murdoch Mysteries, okay, a lot of actors are on Murdoch Mysteries. But what I find, Thom, is that you are so talented and fantastic live, but then on film, you're so great. You're so natural and so talented in all the characters. Wow. I just have such an admiration for you. I'm having a little love fest here.
Oh, it's coming right back at you. Come on, you're my darling. That is very kind of you. It's weird because it's tough. It's a really different world. It took me a while to get used to what it was. I mean, having the luxury of being on a show for 5 seasons was amazing, and I was in almost every episode. I was only maybe 2 or 3. I wasn't in every season. It was very rare, and getting to be on set and get comfortable. It's such a, I'm ready to perform for 2,000 people to the back of the house. So at the beginning, I remember the first few scenes were like, it's a little big, Thom. I'm like, you say a little big. You mean huge or just a little big? He's like, we're huge. Like, fair enough. Okay. I had to kind of
75% less, Thom.
Mostly less, But it's funny, the way I thought about, over the years, I learned for film and TV, it's like everything that you're thinking and doing, but do 1/10 of it.
Yeah.
Put it all inside, let the eyes show it. But still, it's like, whew, sometimes.
Well, I think it's a huge talent to be able to transfer that, and you do it so well. And of course, additionally, you're an amazing singer, and you're going to sing a song for us.
I am.
So let's do that now.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Get this going here. Take a second to warm it up. Oh, and then a siren starts.
Oh, sorry.
Toronto.
There we go. I have often walked down this street before, but the pavement always stayed beneath my feet before. All at once am I several stories high, knowing I'm on the street where you live. Are there lilac trees in the heart of town? Can you hear a lark in any other part of town? Does enchantment pour out of every door? No just on the street where you live. And oh, that towering feeling, just to know somehow you are near. The overpowering feeling that any second you may suddenly appear. People stop and stare, they don't bother me, for there's nowhere else on earth that I would rather be. Let the time go by, I won't care if I can be here on the street where you live. Can be here on the street where you live.
Oh my
Great.
goodness, Tanya, you and I, we
Thom was singing that to me, though, Erica.
I know, at a private concert for the two of us. Thom, thank you so much. How beautiful. How beautiful. So that's a little taste of what's to come when you come to Collingwood. Thom, with all the things that you do, I want to also say how much we appreciate that you do come to places like Collingwood, because for a lot of people that live in Collingwood, going to Toronto or going to the big theaters just is not in the cards. Well, it's not in the cards for anyone right now, but in normal times, it's not possible. So we're so delighted at Theatre Collingwood to be able to bring you in to our community.
You know what? Listen, it's a joy for me, for any performer really, to go to places where they're appreciated. You know what I mean? It's not about how big it is or how whatever it is. It's great people with people who appreciate it. You have a great audience there who are like in love with the work and they want to see things and they're hungry for wonderful, new, interesting things. And that's exciting to go and perform for that because it feels like we're appreciated. Whatever we're doing and bringing is appreciated. So we'll travel to, Zimbabwe and Reykjavik if it's going to go ahead and get a great audience.
Yeah. No, it's lovely. Through this time of this pandemic, it's been very difficult on artists. What are your thoughts about the industry, where it's going from here, how we're all going to survive through this? What's your take on it?
The thing about theater is theater will always survive. People always will want to tell stories, and stories will always build into theatricality, and theatricality will build into a show. No matter what you do, whenever society is oppressed, something blossoms out of it. When it's tamped down, there's a seed of something that will grow and find light. And of course, it's doubly complicated right now with the whole racial upheaval that's going on as well. And it's really sort of filtered. It's opened up the truths inside the business as well in terms of people of color and their treatment on all sides of the boards. And that's also changing. People are talking about things that they haven't really talked about. We've had moments that people have woken up for a second but kind of gone back to sleep, when it was convenient. But people seem to be awake to possibilities of some of the wonder that can happen if we're all actually able to come and play together. And that's exciting.
And when I was speaking before to Candy, and I've been asking this question to everyone, but I think in some ways you've just answered it, and that is, I don't want to say that the issues that we're dealing with the racial tension and everything is a gift, but I feel that the time we're in right now is a gift because it's given us time to really, really think about what the issues are and have been for so long, but we haven't taken the time to think about it. So now we have no excuses. We have time.
Right. Truly, I think I think that the universe has conspired to make the world stop and take a look at all kinds of things. You know what we're doing to the planet, and racial inequities, and there's space. People are at home going, "What do I do? Oh, I guess I'm thinking about this." And
Yeah.
as they think about it, going, "Oh, I've actually never thought about this." And you go, "Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, that's a start." You know, like yes, great. So
You
it's
know, I think also it's a time where we can do a lot of reading that we haven't been able to do before. Or we, you know, I mean, I do lots of reading, but it's oftentimes a script or something like that. And you're not necessarily taking the time to read the history that we were not taught. So the gift is we have the time to do that.
nice.
Right. So, Thom, what are you working on? Like, I don't mean like, I know there's no projects, but when you're at home, I know you'll be working on something.
You know, I mean, it's funny you say that. I actually working on a project. Like, you know, I'm directing a show at George Randolph at the Randolph Academy. So in the fall, it'll be online. We're trying to figure all that out of how we do that and what happens. But I've got a whole team. We're madly trying to get it all together. I can't say what show it is right now because we haven't announced it. So that's happening, you know, and I'm planning everything. The thing that's happening really for me is I'm transitioning away from performing. I'll be doing a lot less of it. I mean, concert stuff for a while still, but it's been happening for a while. And now in this moment, again, as things have opened up in terms of what's possible, what's being seen, I want to say more. I want a bigger voice on the world stage, and I don't need to be the one doing it on the stage anymore. I've had an amazing time. I've had so many opportunities, but I'm ready to sort of pass it along to other younger or just different actors, and I want to be the one directing them. I want to be the one helping to guide them, you know, to performances that are exciting and creating really fun theater. Musicals I'd love to do for sure, you know, and then certainly some plays, but I want to direct musicals. I want to.
You know, you have so much experience to offer.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm actually very excited to hear that you want to go in that direction, because that's, you know, we need these brilliant directors as much as we need the brilliant actors or performers or singers. So that's all really, really exciting news, super exciting news. But don't stop before you come to Collingwood.
Oh no. That's happening. Come hell or high water. Whether you like it or not, I'm coming.
That's terrific. That's terrific. We've just got to get Tanya to speak to the town about opening up some venues now.
Right.
You know, one thing that I was in a Zoom meeting yesterday, and one of a million, which we've all been in all of these Zooms. But
that's all we're doing these days.
one thing that we were discussing, which I think is so true, is that the arts really is what has allowed us, I think everyone, to survive through this time of the pandemic, because there's so much good and bad, but there's so much content that's out there. There's wonderful arts content. And just imagine if we were all stuck in our homes and we weren't able to listen to the beautiful music or watch these virtual productions. And I really think it's played a pivotal role in how we've survived. So I thank you as one of our amazing Canadian performers for helping us all to survive this time.
Hopefully the people that are in charge of money remember that when they try to cut the funding for the arts.
Oh my goodness.
The arts. Your music is the arts. How would you like to have this whole period right now without, you know, all the platforms, all the what's the name of that? Like all the TV shows you're watching online and like all
everything we're streaming.
All the streaming things, like that's all art. That's all the arts. The music.
It's really important. And actually, on a local level, we can look at it that you know, our ticket purchasers and our corporate sponsors are, you know, we have so many who've been so wonderful and just turned around and said, just turn my subscription into a donation.
Oh,
and
so
they get it that, you know, we're not doing shows, but we still have expenses to keep the company going so we can have the shows when this is all over. So that's an amazing way for people and for businesses to thank to continue to support the arts through this. We're all going to get through it.
We are, because you can't keep us down as
Yes.
especially as theater makers. The live experience will never be replaced.
Yeah.
It will never be replaced. We have a need to connect in a room together on the same emotional ride. There's something that's so cathartic, and I think holds us on a cellular level, whether people know it or not. There's a need for that.
It's what makes us human. It really is. Yeah. Thom, I know that we don't hang out together, but I feel like you're my best friend.
I Angus.
I think I just want to be your best friend. So thank you so much for spending this time with us, giving us your valuable gift of time tonight. And I can't wait till we have you back in Collingwood performing live.
Me too.
So thank you, my friend.
Thank you guys. This is great to be
Thanks,
on here.
Thom.
Thank you guys. This is
Yay, fun. Tanya?
Yes.
We did
Yeah.
it. We did it again.
Fantastic.
We made our way through this. And
Good.
once again, I want to thank the town of Collingwood for the support in doing this. And we have one announcement for in 2 weeks' time when we're back at the stage door. And that is that the wonderful Lisa Way will be with us that evening. And
Amazing.
Lisa has a huge following in the region and all over the place, and is probably one of the nicest people on the planet. So we're thrilled that she's going to come and join us in 2 weeks' time.
Oh, that's going to be amazing.
Yeah. So
Looking
thank
forward
you,
to it.
Tanya. Thank you, and Tyler. Thank you. A great night.
Yeah, it was a great night. Thanks, everyone.
I'm going to take this off and put my jacket on. All right.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching.